This is Dabu7, an update to what's going on with Minneapolis and some of the details surrounding it. You can see here fresh waves of National Guard making their way into the area. These National Guard are called up by Tim Walz, not Trump. Okay? There's a big difference. That's why when we warn you of civil war, this is what we mean. They're going to literally be using military factions or police units against one another. Interesting developments out of all this. It seems, as I've told you many times, these events are put out there to sow chaos and division, and they want people jumping on one side or the other and fighting over it. We can clearly see that, so you need not fall into the trap. Those that do look foolish when they do, and obviously they're lost in the left-right paradigm. They may hear of the left-right paradigm, but they never actually soak it up and understand that it's a huge illusion because they're so bought in to one side or the other. Now, I know things are not good out there with certain aspects all the way around. But in this instance, the fuel being thrown on the fire big time with this new event, this new shooting that took place with the man that was wrestling with a bunch of other agents out there. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Nome is catching a ton of fire for this. And this is what happens when people just regurgitate whatever they hear without actually going and watching something. And see, she seemed to have not even seen any of the video clips when she was making statements. And a big chunk of Trump's base that was left out here, they've just jumped ship because they're sick of it. Even people that stuck through it with the pedo stuff. It's time people take a look in the mirror and like make a stand for what they believe in and quit jumping on bandwagons out here. Okay? Because everyone that went all in on this MAGA stuff, they're finding out the hard way, big time. Like I said, first off, it was with the pedos. Now they want to threaten guns, our rights, and they want to come out, even Kash Patel, and saying that you don't need to be going to a protest with a weapon. Well, people have got a right to go wherever they want, armed, constitutional carry, if you're in the right state, right? This is why I say watch out where you go, because some states and cities are trappy. You can't even constitutional carry there or carry.
Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, to you sincere Akim, noise in this gospel abroad, keeping the faith and testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and to the few sincere Akwat that listen and learn, to you all say Shalom. So things are turning up in Babylon, man. Like, you got the whole left-right paradigm, okay, and you know what I'm saying, you have a lot of talking heads just coming out, just saying things that are inciting people to want to get violent. And, you know, we always reference the movie that came out a few years back, Civil War, and the same exact things you saw happen in that movie with the politics and the back and forth and the, you know, Black Swan events. You know, we're seeing the same things happen today live in real time. Okay, so all of what you see on the news, because there's a lot of rhetoric going out that, you know what I'm saying, there's a narrative being pushed of, you know, Americans and their rights, because now they're talking about taking away guns, you know. Kash Patel talking about, as you heard Dabu say, that protesters aren't allowed or they shouldn't be showing up to protests with guns. And another thing as well, there's a lot of confusion going on with these things, man. That's why you really got to have the spirit working with you to be able to discern what's real and what's not. Because, you know, we live in a time especially where you can't just take everything for face value that you see on the internet or on TV. Because we live in the age of AI, you know, we live in the age of sensationalism, okay, to where one small incident can be blown up to make it seem like this is what's happening on a normal basis. You know what I'm saying? So we know what's going on, and ultimately we know this is order Abkeo and the Hegelian dialectic coming into full effect, man. Okay, order out of chaos and pressure from above and pressure from beneath. That's what these devils are working with, man. This is high level satanic witchcraft, okay? And this is all to get people to be incited into a civil war. Because why else would you be coming out and saying that? We all know what the Constitution say about the right to bear arms, and pretty much that if a government gets tyrannical, then the citizens have a right to rise up against that government. This administration now was coming out and saying, no, we're not going to have no protests. No, we're not going to, allow you to bear arms wherever, even if it's constitutionally allowed in your state to do so. We're not going to allow that. So what else are they trying to get people to do other than fight back? It doesn't make any sense, you see? So all these narratives that's being put out here, and all this confusion that you see, man, this is all a means to an end. And again, this is Esau working at high level witchcraft on the minds of the people. Because out there in Minneapolis, the first incident which really kicked all of this off was Renee Good. Okay, so-called white woman that got blanked in the head, and since that, it's been all these protests and things of that, which we know a lot of these protests that are going on are paid and funded for by the likes of George Soros, by the likes of the elites. Okay, we already know that, because a lot of these protests, they start out peaceful, then all of a sudden they just turn violent. Okay, people start throwing stuff, what I'm saying, busting up cop cars, attacking police. That's not, what these people are doing, man. Okay, these are agent provocateurs, paid agents sent out into the mist to cause confusion. Okay, this is Esau. This is what he always do. Okay, Esau infiltrates and he destroys from within. You see? But Renee Good, she got capped. Then it was the most recent one over the weekend. This guy Alex Preddy, which was a former nurse, allegedly. Which we don't even know what the hell is really going on, man. I mean, these are just narratives that's being put out there. And there's a video of him, allegedly getting shot up or whatever. But these are things that we got to be very careful of, because again, we know what's going on. And we're not saying that people don't die in Esau psyops. People absolutely do get sent back to the spirit world. But at the same time, you got to understand that everything that's happening, this devil is doing, is a means to an end. And ultimately, what you're seeing happen in Minneapolis right now, just spiral out of control, this is going to come to all 50 states, because this devil, we know that he wants to enact martial law. Okay, he wants to implement a police state, because really what's going on in Minneapolis is a police state. And you saw it happen last year when he first sent the National Guard out there to L.A. And guess what? Those National Guard that were sent to L.A., they never left, all right? They never left. They still there to this day. When he deployed them out to D.C., they still there to this day. Everywhere where he's deployed National Guard, they're still stationed there. Ultimately, because these devils know that they getting ready to do some big event on American soil that's going to justify having all these troops, stationed up everywhere, all right? Right now, even in Minneapolis, they got checkpoints set up. You can't go certain places, all right? There's a curfew, Like the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, we need to implement the Insurrection Act, which they've already been calling for it. Okay? So what's about to happen overall is that these devils, they want to shut down America, man. Okay? They want to lock this place down, and they want full authoritarian control over the lives of the people. You see? And there are going to be rebellions. The scriptures speak about that. But it's not going to go as he thinks it is. Okay? Because, we'll get that scripture, but, every hand of the wicked shall come upon them. So these devils are going to run into a position of difficulty, situation of straits, a very difficult situation, man, to where they want to get the NWO off the ground, but the Lord is going to, foil that, okay, for the sake of biblical prophecy. But let's finish this video out.
And have a right to defend yourself. As we've seen in the situation here in the most recent shooting, it seems statements were made at the top level by Noam about this event that were not correct. She had made statements of a gun being pointed and other stuff that were just not correct. This has infuriated people on the right, the conservatives behind Trump, that are threatening to be done. So the only thing Trump can do is be done with her. Dump Noam. He's bringing in Tom Homan up here to the scene. And it just goes to show again that so many people out there are so quick to just jump on whatever a shill says out there without even actually looking at footage or doing anything else. And then they get burned on it. But, you know, everyone's got their opinion. As I say here, anyone that wants to come with hate or threats, you're gone. Quick. You can't let this work on you. They want to have civil war. They want to sow division. And it's clear to see. A shout outs to all those out there that can clearly see.
Yeah, and it's all about stoking division. Okay, again, you got the left-right paradigm. You know, those that's on the right, they're demonizing the left. They're saying that, oh, all this is happening because of Joe Biden and his policies and, you know, whatever else have you. You know what I'm saying? Some people is even blaming Obama. Okay, which Obama ain't been in office for 9 years now. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man, but, you know, this is the strong delusion that's on people, man. And this is what the elites do. Again, this is all witchcraft, right? So they play both sides, okay, which people really believe, especially these Edomites, you know what I'm saying? They really live by the left and the right. Like, do you know that certain Edomite families, like, they won't, let's say that you're a Democrat and, you know, the woman you want to marry, she's a Republican. There's certain Edomites, you know what I'm saying, really most of them, they won't marry into your family if you support a different political party than them. All right, that's just how these Edomites get down. So they're all into the left, right. You know what I'm saying? They're all into the politics. Like they really live by this shit, man. You see, so this is ingrained within them to where they really believe in Trump, you know. But even a lot of MAGAs now, they're starting to separate. They're starting to wake up and be like, hold on, wait a minute. They trying to come for guns. They trying to shut us down from free speech and all this. Like a lot of them ain't really going for that. So there's even division within the MAGAs, okay? You got the right against the left. You got the left against the left. You got the right against the right. So it's just all manner of confusion that's going on within America, Babylon the Great, man. Thus, is this place not rightly named Babylon? Okay, Babal means confusion. This is the land of confusion, man. All right, so this is why you got to separate your mind from this place. Come out of her, man, because this place will destroy you spiritually if you allow it to.
And where they're wanting to take this. It's our job to not let it happen. So, crazy turn of events here. With Walls calling in the National Guard. I want you to remember this. If Trump pulls on the Insurrection Act, any ICE agents that go in here, they're going to face off against National Guard now. Because that's the setup. Any Marines, as people keep saying, send in the Marines, they're going to be facing off against National Guard. Is that really what people want? You really want civil war like that? Like that? You want the National Guard Marines clashing in the streets? Is that what you want? Because that's what you're calling for. Okay, because the Marines aren't going to touch these protesters at this point. They're going to have to get through the National Guard. So people need to stop and think about these things. The setup, right in front of us. It's there. It's a powder keg, and they want it to blow here. So, also, I'll say this. Anyone that wants to twist things and try to say that I said things that I didn't, you're gone instantly as well. Just because you're so butthurt, you take it out somewhere else. You can either stand for the truth and the real of the whole thing, or just push on. All right? Join me for the live shows, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as I dive into this and a whole lot more.
So yeah, point is, it's going down out there in Minneapolis and soon to be a city near you. All right, because they plan to spread this all over America, man. Minneapolis, this is pretty much the testing ground, but best believe these devils, they want to take this to all 50 states, all major cities, man. And that's the point where people are really going to be in fear, because it's going to be in their neck of the woods. It's going to be in their backyard. Because right now, people are afraid looking at what's happening in Minneapolis, but how much more when these things start to turn up near you, to where now you can't ignore, you can't get away from it, man. All right, that's why, as it says in Luke 21st chapter, that men's hearts shall fail them for fear, seeing the things that are coming on the earth. All right, so we in that time to where, fear is being put to the forefront, to get people to be coerced and corralled like the cattle that they are into the NWO. Now, this nigga Obama, right? We ain't heard from him in a long time, but now this nigga coming out the woodwork and he's giving his rhetoric, okay, which he represents the left, Democrats, right? So check this out. This is from New York Post. Barack Obama issues rare political statement condemning DHS over Alex Preddy shooting as Dems rally against Trump admin. So you see that this is all about the right versus the left, all right? And you had the same thing showing you that this is nothing more than the ancient Western Roman Empire all over again. Okay, we are in the revival of the fourth beast. Okay, we are in the time when you read Daniel the second chapter. You know, we're in the time of the feet and the toes of the last kingdom. Okay, which would represent this modern day American-led beast system, man. Okay, which we're at the end of this place, no doubt. So, reading this, former President Barack Obama directly condemned President Trump for the death of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis, saying, quote, "This has to stop," and accusing his successor of being, quote, "eager to escalate the situation." Of course. All right. And see, Obama, he's in on it too. All right, both the right and the left, they all are aware of the game being played. You see? And it was the Obamas, Barack and Michelle, they produced the movie Leave the World Behind that came out some years ago, which they showed you pretty much all of what they want to make happen within the next few years. And a lot of those things in that movie have already been fulfilled. Okay, so don't let this fool you. Oh, he's condemning Trump and all this. Nah, man. See, all these people are on the same side, but they have to play the good cop versus the bad cop. All right, but good cop and bad cop is on the same team. Okay, you know what I'm saying? They just playing you to manipulate you into what they want you to fall for. Okay. So he says Trump is eager to escalate the situation, which is a fact, in a rare, overt criticism of the current administration. The killing of Alex Preddy is a heartbreaking tragedy, Obama said in a statement posted on X on Sunday. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault. People across the country have been rightly outraged by the spectacle of masked ICE recruits and other federal agents acting with impunity and engaging in tactics that seem designed to intimidate, harass, and provoke and endanger the residents of a major American city, the former president wrote. And see, they out there so-called, they protesting ICE, okay? Which ICE is supposed to be for immigration, right? Dealing with foreigners. Well, this is going beyond immigration, okay? This is going beyond just dealing with foreigners who, again, the left brought into the country, right? Was it not under Joe Biden that he opened up the American borders to all kind of nationals that come from other countries, right? It was during the regime of Joe Biden. Now Trump, right after, he's so-called here to clean it up. Okay, so Joe Biden set up the chaos, and Trump is here to save the day. Okay, all that bullshit, right? But we see exactly what the hell is going on. So even this dude Alex Preddy, man, like, this dude could very well be an agent, okay? Because Esau, he has agents that he trains up from young. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much brainwashes them. He can create a whole narrative around their life and change their name and all that. So this guy very well could be one of those agents. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not saying for sure that's the case, but it's a strong possibility dealing with this devil. All right, and they caught this on camera to blast this all around the country, so they can incite civil war against the government, which would justify them bringing about martial law, the Insurrection Act, and taking away more of your rights. Okay, that's where all of this is going. All right. So Obama's statement came a day after protester Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, was shot dead by Border Patrol agents in a hail of bullets on a Minneapolis street. Preddy was allegedly carrying a loaded firearm. When he put himself between the feds and a woman, they were pepper spraying. Agents were attempting to arrest him and pull the gun from his belt. Then they fired a burst of about 10 shots at him. And see, this is all from Yahweh Shemiel Shai. Whether it's a psyop or not, this is all from the Lord, man, because ultimately now these Edomites, they feel fear because they're seeing their own kind now being gunned down by these ICE agents in cold blood. Okay, this is the second so-called white person that has been put to death by the American government, man. All right, on a national on a nationally televised scale. So now they feel like this is hitting closer to home. Oh, now damn, now this could happen to me. Okay, when it was the niggas and the spics that was getting shot up and beat and brutalized, they ain't give a shit. But see, now that it's them, now they start to feel a type of way about it. Now they really about to raise up and try to do something about it. See, but that's what Esau wants. Okay, they want the people to get roused up so that they can put them down. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the bottom line of what's going on here. But, you know, it says here Obama went on to concede that immigration agents have a tough job, but accused the Trump admin of encouraging lawless tactics among agents. Yeah, Captain Obvious, right? You know what I'm saying? We can clearly see that. But anyways, yeah, you know, this is another one, and there's more to come. All right, it's not gonna stop here because JD Vance has pretty much given ICE full immunity to do what they want with the American people, man. All right, they're not under the law. You know, they can pretty much, beat you, brutalize you, put you to death, and there's no consequence. Okay, the officers that put Alex Petty to death, nothing's gonna happen to them. You see, and that's like adding insult to injury, man, because if there's no checks and balances on the ICE, then what's to stop them from just putting people to death in a mass out here? Okay, this is state sanctioned murder. Okay, which this is what the American government does all around the world. Now it's coming home to you Americans, to you Babylonians, man. Okay, so yeah, when you get Isaiah the 19th chapter, speaks about the Egyptian versus the Egyptian. And the modern day Egyptians are the Americans, these so-called Americans, these Babylonians. All right, message to Egypt. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So it is the Lord that is setting these Americans against one another, okay? And he's doing it by the way of the right and the left. This right-left paradigm, okay, which is madness, okay? They shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So this is going to be a nation-dividing time that we're in right now, man. People are being set one against another. And when you read in 2nd Ezra 6, it tells you that, friends shall fight one against another like enemies. And even Yahweh Shah told you that he came not, to bring peace, but he came to bring a sword. That he came to set a man at variance against his father, the son against the mother, the nephew against the niece, okay? Yeah, so Yahweh Shah, he's coming to bring division. Yahweh Shah is not about unity for this world, because all this world is unified in is wickedness. You see, so the Lord's coming to break all this shit up. All right, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, which is happening now. These people's spirit is failing them. All right, they don't have no type of hope left. It's all going down the drain. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, which we believe through the Spirit is DJT. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, so that's civil war, man. All right, this is exactly what's going on here in Babylon the Great. When you get 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, let's go there real quick. All right, because it speaks about how there will be uproars of the people in the world, which this is just what's going on in America. You know what I'm saying? This is just one of many. All over the world, there's protests, there's uprisings. Okay, people are rising up against their government, which is also a biblical prophecy. So the 2nd Ezra 9, in verse 3, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Yeah. So all these things that you see in the uproars of the people, the 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 uh the calls for civil war, the diseases that's going on, the earthquakes, all the wild weather. Okay, here on the East Coast, man, shit, we just got hit with like 20 inches of snow. Then they saying the forecast is supposed to be like 15 more inches coming this weekend, man. So, the Lord is definitely hitting this place with that judgment for sure. You know what I'm saying? But these are all also signs of the end. All right. Then I mentioned it's Job 20. I believe that's Job 20. Job 20. Yeah, we'll start at Job 20 and 19. In fact, let's get that in the NLT. Get it in plain English. Job 20 and 19. For they oppressed the poor and left them destitute. They foreclosed on their homes. They were always greedy and never satisfied. Nothing remains of all the things they dreamed about. Nothing is left after they finish gorging themselves. Therefore, their prosperity will not endure. And that's speaking about the elites, how they just take and take and take and take, and they don't give nothing back, man. All right? The elites of Edom, they don't take care of the poor, all right? But they're all about themselves. It speaks about in Habakkuk how they can never be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally have all that the heart could wish. They got all the money, they got all the resources, but they still want more. All right, Esau, he wants your soul. Okay, and that's why he's about to implement this MOTB so that he can know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll be able to manipulate your mind and you know what I'm saying, know everything about you more than even what you know about yourself. All right? This devil, he wants that godlike power, but it's not going to happen. Okay? Verse 22, in the midst of plenty, they will run into trouble and be overcome by misery, which is happening right now. Because in the midst of them trying to implement this NWO, they're running into a lot of problems. Okay, and that's why you'll see, Esau, he'll put certain laws on the books, but then he'll try to, wait a while, try to, hold up on what he's doing because there's problems, all right? Even at the top with the elites, you know what I'm saying? They all have the collective idea of the NWO, but they're not unified in it. Okay, there's even division amongst the elites. Okay, so just to show you that, the Lord, he's definitely putting, spirits out here in the earth that are created for division. You know what I'm saying? Where was I at? Verse 23. May Yahweh give them a bellyful of trouble. May Yahweh rain down his anger upon them. When they try to escape an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow will pierce them. The arrow is pulled from their back, and the arrowhead glistens with blood. The terrors of death are upon him. Their treasures will be thrown into deepest darkness. A wildfire will devour their goods, consuming all they have left. The heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. You see? So right now, man, look, these devils are being exposed. You know, so everything is coming out about them. Even what they doing in Minneapolis, that's coming out. You got mad YouTube channels, going into the protests, picking it apart, exposing how there's agent provocateurs out there and these people are paid off and all of this. Even ICE is paid off. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a whole lot of confusion going out, but that's what's coming out in these times to where Esau, he can't hide himself no more. And this goes into the trouble, the straits that he's experiencing right now. Verse 28, a flood will sweep away their house. Yahweh's anger will descend on them in torrents. This is the reward that Yahweh gives the wicked. It is the inheritance decreed by Yahweh. All right? So Esau's ultimate end is to be destroyed, to be confounded, and he's not going to get his NWO fully off the ground. Now, he is going to get, but so far, he is going to implement the MOTB. He is going to do everything prophecy says, but he's not going to reign as God over the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen, because once he goes to do that, that's when the Lord is going to cut his ass off. You see what I'm saying? What's that scripture I was thinking of? I know it's in Job though. I'm trying to think how it's worded. You know what? So like it bear with me one moment. Trying to remember how that's worded. Yeah, it's not that one. I just got that. Damn it, man. Hey, when this happens, you know, shit. It's like you get so caught up in the lesson, you just going in the spirit. Certain precepts you had in mind, it just slipped. That's why I need to start writing stuff down, man. But damn, you know what? Let's do let's do this. Let's get Luke 12. Yep. Luke 12, Lord willing that other scripture come back to me. Luke 12 and 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth, as Yahweh Shai, I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother. You see that? So Yahweh Shai said that he come to bring division. All right, he ain't come to bring peace, man. So Yahweh Shai, he came to divide, and this is why even now, with all these protests going on, you literally have households divided. Okay, and you can really say that the major tipping point came in 2020 with the onset of the CV19. You know what I'm saying? Like you have families divided over that. Like I remember, like if you didn't get the V, certain family didn't even want to have you around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like grandma ain't want you to come over because you ain't going, get me infected and all that. You know what I'm saying? So since then, man, like division has been prominent within America, but it's only gotten worse now. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, Howard Shah said he came to set the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So, to these Christians out here speaking about unity and we need to come together, the Lord is not with coming together, man. The Lord, he said he come to bring division, that he came to divide the household, not unite. Okay? So how much more for the elect? The elect are definitely supposed to be separate from this world, to be divided from this world, man. You see? But this is what's going to cause that civil war, all that division that's going on. You see? So things are only getting worse, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit is turning up by the day. And there's going to be more psyops to come that's going to further that division. You see what I'm saying? Because all of what's going on now, this is all the determination of Yahweh Bashmil Shai to bring down Babylon the Great. Because before he brings in the outside force to destroy this place, he's going to divide it from within the same way like he did ancient Rome. All right, and I still can't remember that last scripture, but it's all good. I got to find that one. But, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord will, this lesson's edifying through the Rakah Kedash. Call Lord Yahweh Bashmil Shai, Bashim Rakah Kedash. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kum Yasha'Allah, Wa Ba Ba Ba.